All right, namaste, and thank you for joining in this class on the Vedic Basic Foundation course on Vedic Astrology. And we were looking at Arishta and Arishta Bhanga. And in the last class, we looked at a few combinations that, would result in the death of the newborn. Okay, so today we'll be looking at a few conditions that will impact the parents. Okay, and the conditions can be looked at from the child of the from the chart of the child, and we'll be looking at afflictions to the mother as well as afflictions to the father. Okay, but before we begin, let's start with the daily Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Bhuna Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunakatu Sahaviryankara Vavahai Tejasvinad Dhitamastu Ma Vidavishawahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right. So affliction to the mother first. Okay, and as I said, you'll be looking at this from the perspective of the child's horoscope. And these conditions, they have to be fulfilled simultaneously. Okay, just don't go around judging that the mother will be afflicted based on only one condition. Okay, so there are multiple conditions and they have to be fulfilled simultaneously. Okay, so the first condition is Saturn in the 10th house, Moon in the 6th house, Mars in the 7th house. Okay, Saturn in the 10th house, Moon in the 6th house, Mars in the 7th house. All these conditions, they have to occur simultaneously. Okay, in that case, it can lead to death of the newborn along with the mother. All right. Again, if the moon is in Lagna with two malefics on either side, that means the moon is in Lagna, one malefic is in the 2nd house, one malefic is in the 3rd house, in the 12th house, and then there are malefics either in the 7th house or the 8th house. Okay, in that case also, there will be death of the native along with the mother. Okay, moon in Lagna, one malefic in the 12th house, one malefic in the 2nd house. This is the absolute necessary condition. And then the other necessary condition is one malefic should occupy either the 7th house or the 8th house. Okay, and this can cause death of the native along with the mother. Okay, then if the moon is aspected by 3 malefics, okay, not conjunct but aspected by 3 malefics, in that case also, it can lead to death of the mother. But here there is a condition that if any benefic is also aspecting the moon, then this condition will not hold. Okay, so what are the benefics? Mercury or unafflicted Mercury or Jupiter or Venus. Okay, so if any of these 3 benefics are aspecting the moon, and but the moon is being aspected by 3 malefics, then it is the condition is broken. Okay, now death of the mother. Okay, if the moon is in the 7th or 8th house from a malefic, associated with a malefic and aspected by a strong malefic, the moon is in the 7th or 8th house from a malefic associated with a malefic, that means another malefic has to join, and then aspected by a strong malefic, another malefic has to aspect. Okay, then it can lead to death of the mother. Okay, for example, say Saturn is in the 1st house, moon is in the 7th house. Okay, so the moon is getting aspect from Saturn, moon is also in the 7th house from Saturn, and then suppose Mars comes and joins this moon, then it can lead to death of the mother. Okay, then if the sun is exalted or debilitated in the 7th house, then Parashara says that the child may be deprived of mother's milk and survives on other milk, for example cow milk or goat milk. Okay, so I have not tested this condition and I've not come across any chart in my whole during my whole time of doing Vedic astrology, so I cannot verify this condition. Okay, but if anyone can verify it, and you can tell me, or maybe you can leave a comment in the comment section and I'll be grateful. Okay, if the sun is either exalted or debilitated in the 7th house, that means the sun must the 7th house, the sun must be in the 7th house, and the 7th house must be either Aries or Libra. Okay, So it can happen for only 2 ascendants, right? And then destruction of the family. Okay, that means not physical destruction, but maybe, destruction due to bad, bad financial conditions. The lagna there must be malefics present in the lagna, the 2nd house, the 12th house, and the 7th house. So 4 malefics. Okay, the lagna, the 2nd house, the 12th house, and the 7th house can lead to destruction of the native's family. Okay, and then if the moon is that of Krishna Paksha, and then if from the moon there are malefics in the 9th or the 5th house. Okay, if the moon is a Krishna Paksha moon and there are malefics in the 5th or the 9th house from that moon, in that case also the mother will find it very difficult to survive over 6 months of the birth of the native. Okay. Again, if the birth happens at the time of eclipse, the moon is associated with malefics and placed in lagna with Mars located in the 8th house, then the native can die due to weapon. Parashara says due to weapon, but in the modern context, you can assume that he was telling about surgical instruments. Okay. But at the time of eclipse, moon associated with malefics, placed in lagna, and Mars located in the 8th house. So maybe, it can lead to death after surgery. All right. Then, these are various conditions of affliction to the mother. Then we look at affliction to the father. Okay. So again, these are, several conditions put together, and each of them have to be simultaneously satisfied. Okay. So Saturn in lagna, Mars in the 7th house, and moon in the 6th house. Saturn in lagna, Mars in the 7th house, moon in the 6th house. This can lead to death of the father. Okay. Then Jupiter in lagna, Sun, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury together in the 2nd house. It can lead to the father's death at the time of the native's marriage. Okay. Jupiter in lagna, Sun, Saturn, Mars, and Mercury in the 2nd house. Okay. Then, if the sun is placed between 2 malefics, okay, along with a malefic in the 7th house from the sun, then it also leads to death of the father. The sun placed between 2 malefics, and then 1 malefic in the 7th house from the sun can also lead to death of the father. Okay. Again, Mars in the 10th house in an enemy sign. Okay, but this is not an absolute condition. If it is getting aspected by a malefic or a benefic, then this condition will not be satisfied. Okay, Mars in the 10th house in an enemy sign can indicate death of the father. The condition will be, will not hold if Mars is aspected by a benefic or a malefic. Okay, now we'll look at the Navamsha. Okay, all these positions that we were discussing, these were all part of the Rashi chart. If the sun goes into Scorpio Amsha or Aries Amsha and is aspected by Saturn, then the father will leave home or die before the birth of the native. If the sun is in Aries Amsha or Scorpio Amsha and is also aspected by Saturn, in that case, the native will experience death of the father just before his birth. Okay, or the father of the native may leave home before the birth of the native. Okay. Rahu plus Jupiter within 2 degrees in the lagna or in the 4th house or in the 6th house. In that case, the father can die in the 23rd year of the native. Rahu and Jupiter in lagna or in the 4th house or in the 6th house within 2 degrees. Okay. Next, the father suffers if the sun is associated or aspected by malefics or is between 2 malefics. Okay, if the sun is associated or aspected by malefics or between 2 malefics, then the father of the native undergoes a lot of suffering. Okay. Again, health of the father is impacted if there is affliction of the 6th and the 8th houses from the sun by malefics. That means if malefics are present in the 6th or the 8th house from the sun without any kind of benefic influence, then there can be, problems with the father's health. Okay, so this is about, the bad times or the bad combinations for the father as well as the mother from the native chart. Okay, now we'll be looking at the timing of fructification of Arishta Yoga. Okay, and in the BPHS that mentions, several combinations causing Arishta to the newborn, the time of death or suffering has also been indicated. Okay, now no astrologer can pinpoint the exact time of death. Okay, but you can actually ascertain the time of death from the transit of the moon over the strongest planets that are afflicted, or the transit of moon over the natal moon, or the transit of moon over the ascendant. Okay, so you have to time death in this way. All right, transit of the moon over strongest of the, of the planets causing affliction, or transit of the moon over the natal moon, or transit of the moon over the ascendant. Okay, and if the transiting moon is itself afflicted, then, so the situation can be very, very adverse. Okay, in that case, the situations can be very, very adverse. All right. Now we look at, combinations for Arishta Bhanga. Okay, we have looked at all the bad yogas. Now let's see, how a bad yoga is destroyed by certain other conditions. Okay, but before that, let's take a break for a couple of minutes. Okay, so combinations for Arishta Bhanga. Okay, as I said, after locating Arishta, you have to see whether the Arishta gets cancelled or not. So I've mentioned a lot of conditions where the Arishta gets cancelled, but let's look at a few more. Okay, and I've taken these conditions mainly from Parashara as well as from the Jataka of Varaha Mihira. And in addition, I've also taken some material from Sri Ranveer Jyotir Mahani Bandha. Okay, and then there is a book called Mansagari. Okay, and you must apply all these combinations very judiciously and not literally, and it's best to integrate these combinations with the operating dashas in order to obtain the best results. Okay, so Parashara says that if Jupiter is placed strongly in the lagna, it destroys all evil. Okay, and a strong Jupiter in the lagna is considered the single most potential factor in overcoming planetary afflictions. Okay, even Mercury, which is unafflicted, if unafflicted Mercury is present in lagna, that is also good. Okay, if unafflicted Venus is present in lagna, that is also good. But Jupiter in lagna takes the cake. Okay, it is the best combination to have if you have a lot of arishtas. Okay, so this one single combination of Jupiter being in lagna destroys all the arishtas. Okay, it is the single biggest factor of arishta bhanga. Okay, again, if Mercury, if unafflicted Mercury, or or a strong Jupiter or a strong Venus is located in one of the houses 1, 4, 7, 10, that means in Kendras, then also Arishta Bhanga happens. Okay, again, if the Lagna Lord is in a Kendra house without getting affliction from malefics, then also it causes Arishta Bhanga. Okay, now what do I mean by without getting affliction from malefics? If the Lagna is that of Saturn and Mars, then of course the Lagna Lord will be a malefic. In that case, look at the functional malefics for the chart. Okay, then a Lagna Lord which is very strong and is unaspected by malefics, and benefics and is aspected by benefics from quadrants. Okay, so in this case, you can consider a retrograde planet as a strong Lagna Lord. Okay, so if there is Arishta in the chart and a retrograde planet is there, okay, as the Lagna Lord, and is not aspected by malefics, but is aspected by benefics from quadrants, then also it destroys or it causes Arishta Bhanga. Okay. And such a Lagna Lord also indicates, progressively increasing prosperity and long life. Okay. Now, surprise, surprise, the moon in the 6th or the 8th house is not considered good. Okay. But if it is in the 6th house or the 8th house, it becomes a protector for the native who is born during daytime of Krishna Paksha, or it also becomes a protector for a native who is born during nighttime of Shukla Paksha. Okay. Again, repeating the condition. If the moon is in the 6th or the 8th house, then it protects the native born during daytime of Krishna Paksha or born during nighttime of Shukla Paksha. Okay. And if all the planets in the horoscope are located in the tree, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 11th house at the time of birth, then also all other planetary afflictions are removed. Okay. 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 11th. If all these, if all the planets, if all the 9 planets are located in the Shirshodaya, Shirshodaya Rashi, they are known as Shirshodaya Rashis. So all the 9 planets located in these locations at the time of birth, they cause Arishta Bhanga to manifest. Okay. Now, if Rahu is in the 3rd or the 6th or the 11th house and is aspected by a benefic, then also, there is removal of affliction. Okay. Arishtas will also vanish if Rahu is located in Aries or Taurus or Cancer. Okay. And has a relationship with the Lagna Lord. All right. So this is a tricky condition. Okay. Then you look at the divisional charts, and if the malefics are located in the Vargas of the benefics and are aspected by benefics, okay, in that case also afflictions come to an end. If the malefics are located in the Vargas, which are of course the signs in the divisional charts, if the malefics are located in the Vargas of benefics aspected by benefics, then also afflictions disappear. Okay. Again, if the ascendant belongs to a benefic and the benefics of a chart are strong and the malefics are weak, then also arishtas tend to disappear. Okay. The rising sign must belong to a benefic. The benefics in the in the horoscope are strong and the malefics are weak. In that case also, arishta disappears. Okay. Now, just a minute. If the moon is located in the 6th or the 8th house of the D1 chart, but goes into the Trikarna of Mercury or Jupiter or Venus in the D3 chart, then also afflictions get removed. Okay, if the moon is located in the 6th or the 8th house of the D1 chart, but it goes into the Trikarna of Mercury or Jupiter or Venus in the D3 chart, then also arishtas will disappear. Okay. Again, arishta gets cancelled if malefics are surrounded by benefics and the benefics are located in Kendra or Kona. Okay. If malefics are surrounded by benefics and the benefics are located in Kendra or Kona, in that case also afflictions get destroyed or get cancelled. Okay. And this is a very difficult condition to fulfill. Okay. If the Lagna Lord is in the Lagna and is aspected by all the other planets. Okay. Lagna Lord in the Lagna and aspected by all the other planets, then also afflictions get destroyed. Okay. No, Parashara has not mentioned any condition for 12th moon. Okay. Similarly, if someone is born in Purnima and the moon is aspected by all other planets, then also Arishta Bhanga is created. Okay. Now, if there are benefics in 6th, 7th, and 8th houses unassociated with malefics, then also it removes affliction. Okay. So, this condition is known as Lagnadhi Yoga and it is very protective. Okay. Benefics in 6th, 7th, and 8th houses is unassociated with malefics. Okay. Again, if the Lagna Lord is strongly placed in the 11th house or the 3rd house or a Kendra, it removes, it removes affliction, ensures good health, and promises long life. Okay, a strong Lagna Lord placed in the 11th or the 3rd house or in a Kendra, it removes affliction, ensures good health, and promises long life. Okay, if someone is born in Purnima and the moon is between two benefics, okay, and is also aspected by Venus, then also becomes, then the birth becomes particularly beneficial. Okay, during during Purnima, if the moon is placed between two benefics and is also aspected by Venus, then it becomes particularly beneficial. Again, Jupiter Mars conjunction, or the aspect of Jupiter on Mars, cancels all affliction and is favorable for the native's mother. Okay, so this is too general. All right, Jupiter Mars conjunction, or the aspect of Jupiter on Mars, cancels the affliction and is favorable for the native's mother. All right, so this is too general, and it is important to keep in mind that the houses involved in this combination and the houses owned by Jupiter and Mars in relation to a given lagna must be paid attention to. Okay, again, if there are malefics in the 4th house or the 10th house, and both these malefics are held or hemmed between two benefics, okay, and those benefics are located in Kendra or Kona, in that case the native's father will find himself very prosperous after the birth of the native. Okay, again, if the moon is exalted or in its own house, okay, in the vargas of friendly planets or its own varga, aspected by benefics and unaspected by malefics. Okay, if the moon is exalted, if the Purnima moon, okay, not just any other moon, if the Purnima moon is exalted or in its own house, that means in Taurus or in Cancer, in the vargas of friendly planets, in the divisional charts of friendly planets, or in its own varga, that means Chandra Amsha, and then such a moon is aspected by benefics and unaspected by malefics, that also causes Arishta Bhanga. Okay, next, affliction is also removed if Jupiter is located in Cancer or Sagittarius or Pisces and in Lagna or a or a Kendra. Okay, affliction is also removed if Jupiter is located in Cancer or Sagittarius or Pisces. Okay, and where was I? I forgot the condition. Yes, if Jupiter is located in Cancer or Sagittarius or Pisces and is in a Lagna or a or in a Kendra or a Kona, then affliction is removed. Okay, and finally, affliction is also removed if there are more than 3 benefic yogas in a horoscope, but this is too generalized in a sense. Okay, affliction is also removed if there are more than 3 benefic yogas in a horoscope. Okay, so from the next class, we have had enough of theory. In the next class, we will be doing theory as well as chart reading. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Any questions till this point? Okay. All right then. Thank you very much for joining in. I'll see you on Friday for the Shri Suktam class. Namaste everyone. Om Gurave Namaha.